Twitch has posted some new guidelines for their streamers, and some members of the VTuber community have taken this as a declaration of war. In Twitch's last announcement, there were some major clarifications to limit what parts of the body streamers can show. This has happened a lot in Twitch's past, such as the drama around hot tub streamers. But this time, VTubers are getting thrown in the mix, as they are explicitly mentioned in the new guidelines, along with rules that confuse and upset a lot of them, such as not allowing their hips to be shown. And unsurprisingly, this sent the community into an uproar, and the internet had a lot to say about it. It starts off with some VTubers being upset about the new child safety rules, because it talks about VTuber models that are made to look younger, beginning with Zach Bousset tweeting out, "New enforcement note on youth safety. Prohibited examples. Typing in chat, haha, I'm 12 by the way," or "I'm using my dad's account because I am 11," and attaches an image that says, "Enforcement notes and clarifications. Content warning. Depicting fictional anime characters of a childlike appearance, lollies and shotas, with any kind of S-framing is not allowed." This applies to VTubers and within games where avatars are uploaded, such as VR chat, with childlike avatars even if the broadcaster and operator of the avatar is above the age of 18. Any humor regarding anything S in relation to minors will result in immediate action on your account. Future says, VTubers are about to get falsely claimed to the moon and back. I mean, heck, Iron Mouse could even qualify as a lolly to some people. Ava Punk responds, I mean, I guess, but I think pretty much all her models have adult breasts, so I don't know if that really counts. And Future says, it's just a vague rule that will be abused. Kinney responds, make no mistake, this will be abused and get a lot of VTubers banned. Asparagus says, most of them are just p-baiting anyway, so I will not shed a tear if this happens. Crux Smash says, the phrasing childlike is going to be abused by Twitch staff and people that like to mass report for no reason. I can understand the intention, but the phrasing is so loose that almost anyone can fall under this category if Twitch feels like banning you. VTubers mostly. Windatar says, okay, so does that mean Twitch will be banning all gacha games? They all have characters like this. Also, isn't this just targeted towards VTubers? These vague, ray-sounding terms are just going to be abused more than they already are. Gigabear responds, what's hilarious is this feels very much in response to the Dr. Disrespect situation, but that happened many years ago, and the only change was it came out in public, so they only really care that they got caught. Zach Bousset responds, none of these rules are new, they're just offering more clarity around them, so I doubt it, but it's fun to theorize. Voero says, good, ban them all. Bagster quote tweets Zach and says, don't forget that recently people have considered childlike to include any combination of the following: being under 5'5", having eyes too far apart, being flat, being over but close to the age of 18, having a childish mindset. No one knows what anything is anymore. Kirsch responds, the height of consent, the eye spacing of consent, the chest size of consent. Ma'am, we must measure you. Can the child-coded 30-year-old even give consent? Is their partner a P? The worldview of consent. I hate current year virtue signaling so much. And Baxter says, it's also tiresome. Maple Moth quote tweets Zach and says, get the lolicons and shotacons out of here. Bunny quote tweets Zach and says, people are saying this is going to get users with chibi models banned, and please hold my hand when I tell you this, but you also shouldn't be making overtly S content with your chibi models. I feel like this is a pretty common sense rule. And Namiel responds, I also feel like there's a huge difference between chibi models and models that clearly look underage. Like, I have a chibi model for Rosalina and it feels like people are being obtuse about some of the guidelines. Kyoko tweets Zach and says, yikes. Gonna be seeing a lot more VTubers getting banned soon. Robbie says, yes, we won. Fuck lollies. Rare Twitch W. Back to your regularly scheduled Robbie Ruse. Nicholas Diorio tweets out, wait, is this the policy that people are mad at? Showing a post in the YouTube drama subreddit that says, Twitch banned all lolly and shota model VTubers with any kind of sexual framing. Mango responds, this policy is Flamenco's personal 9/11. Vito responds, not being allowed to make jokes? Yeah. I respond, beyond. Most people are upset about the body coverage requirements for VTuber models though. And Nicholas Diorio responds, truly a political battle for the ages. Left wing, all women should be prostitutes. Right wing, all women should be animated children. Normal people. And Lele Star responds, VTubers are becoming one of the most obnoxious group of people on the internet. But speaking about body coverage requirements, that's another section that the VTubers are upset about, with Zach Bousset tweeting out, new enforcement note on attire. No prohibited examples were provided, and attaches this image that clarifies enforcement notes and clarifications. Content warning. When evaluating reports for S conduct, attire is just one factor we will use in making a determination on whether conduct is acceptable. We recommend streamers wear attire that will be publicly appropriate for the context, location, and activity they are broadcasting. For example, workout clothes would be appropriate for a fitness stream, and a swimsuit would be appropriate for a stream from a public beach. The attire policy applies to VTubers, in the same way it applies to other streamers. Genitalia, buttocks, hips, female-presented nipples, and underbust must be covered at all times on general streams. These guidelines apply to VTuber models, but not video game characters, including those uploaded into games such as VRChat. Hip coverage is often forgotten in this rule. Please be sure that your VTuber model covers this area. Festival and beachwear allows slightly more revealing clothing when within the relevant category, allowing the showing of hips and underbust. But genitalia and female-presenting nipples must be covered. Static or slightly animated artwork for scenes such as stream starting, be right back, and stream ending artwork must follow all of our guidelines. If you are in a setting such as a pool, hot tub, or beach that may not be real, props do not require water within them for us to still consider you're in the correct context. Your content is still required to be in the correct category and apply any applicable content classification labels. Hijabi Batty responds, what the heck is female presented nipples? Like, men can have nipples but we can't? Zach says, yeah, that's generally how Twitch has worded/approached it. Dark says, crazy how they can allow this, and shows this meme of Twitch looking at a VTuber and turning away, and then approving of IRL streamers. Petri quote tweets Zach and says, Twitch has always required hips to be covered. The wording is now clearer. I've been telling VTubers this for over a year. This is why so many of you keep getting banned. This image is 2 years old. Please know the TOS before getting your model. And attaches this image showing the guidelines, which talks about similar things being covered as the one we just read. Please stop posting women in bikinis in the hot tubs, beaches, and pools category. TOS clearly states they have separate attire guidelines. And yes, Twitch consistently unfairly enforces rules on VTubers. Never said they didn't. Again, please read the TOS thoroughly. Pumpkin King Kai responds, the problem comes from inconsistent enforcement. I can go into ASMR or live or other tags right now and find plenty of non-VTubers violating the attire policy right now with hundreds of viewers. I agree that TOS has a place, but what good is TOS that isn't enforced? And Petri says, oh, 1000%, but that's a whole other issue that grinds my gears. Currently, the timeline is flooded with annoying VTubers as if this is new TOS. There's so much misinformation. Yuria quote tweets Zach and says, this just applies each time, and attaches this image. And Turo says, you may have found the anti-ban meta for VTubers. Maro quote tweets Twitch and says, hey Twitch, fuck you, attaching this image of his skeleton model. Nero quote tweets Zach and says, Twitch needs to make a statement on why IRL streamers can have an ass cam, but VTubers have to be covered like nuns. This is insanely hypocritical. Are they seriously just incel simps who hate anime but simp for these women? And attaches this image. Twitch support also tweets out an unrelated tweet about enforcement notes, and some VTubers came into the replies, like Kabuki, who says, exceptions for VTubers specifically is wild. We are just 2D avatars, but 3D hips, genitalia, buttocks, underbusts, and female presented nipples are fine? Huh? And Twitch support responds, apologies, I believe you are reading this incorrectly. All of the listed above must be covered at all times on general streams. VTuber models are held to the same attire guidelines as other streamers. Knots Kier says, on the off chance that an actual person will read these replies, you should go fuck yourself. James says, "You literally let flesh streamers have dedicated ass cams." And Mexi responds, "Flesh streamers sounds like a slur." Amethyst Lady also tweets at Twitch support and says, "Could you please indicate what you consider to be hips uncovered versus covered? For a VTuber model, clarification of this is very helpful directly from Twitch, so people don't get it wrong needlessly." And Twitch says, "Hey, we specify this in our general guidelines. Exceptions apply as appropriate noted in our enforcement rules," and attaches the image that says, "For all streamers, you must cover the area extending from your hips to the bottom of your pelvis and buttocks." Dexerto tweets out, "VTubers are hitting out at Twitch over rules that require characters to be fully covered up, including their hips." Cosmic says, "Wait, don't they allow hot tub streams?" Tyler Duran responds, "Twitch making a good decision? I owe you an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game." Bone responds, "Are you retarded?" James says, "Aw, they can't thirst trap anymore. Boo-hoo. Maybe they should have planned different styles for their avatar, like when real people change clothes." Leia Kitties tweets out the new policy and says, "Twitch has now confirmed that VTuber hips must be covered. I can think of many VTubers who don't have theirs fully covered, me included. The issue is, commissioning new outfits to meet ever-changing guidelines is expensive and time-consuming. Be aware of this clarified rule. If any VTuber receives a suspension relating to attire within the next few weeks, this could be why. If you have your model's hips exposed, I would only show off the top of your model out of caution. I appreciate the detail with a description, but many will be hit by this. How this would apply when VTubers have bikini outfits is something I'm unsure of, as it would technically break the rules. I personally don't have one, but please let me know your thoughts. How a 3D VTuber can have their hips exposed and be banned, yet uploading the same avatar to VR chat and streaming it is okay is wild to me. These rules do apply for 3D and 2D VTubers equally as far as I'm aware. The clarification does not apply to VR chat streamers. As an example, my hip is shown in this outfit, and I could potentially be banned for it depending how lenient the mods are, which makes no sense as I am mostly covered. Again, I could also be perfectly fine with this outfit. It's why the guideline clarification is confusing." Glizzy quotes what Twitch said earlier, "The attire policy applies to VTubers in the same way it applies to other streamers. Waiting for Twitch to actually enforce this on non-VTubers." And Leia Kitties responds, "I feel as though this is the issue. It is definitely applied unfairly in my opinion." Kawaii Babe says, "Am I the only one who thinks this is absolutely egregious? So petty." Tequila says, "Do they have any idea how many formal wear dresses are made to show a hip? How long until they ban people for showing ankles?" Pipkin Pippa quote tweets Leia Kitties and says, "Hips have to be covered? Laughing my ass off." CS Alfredo responds, "Don't worry, I made your model Twitch appropriate." Enos says, "Twitch hates VTubers." Straub responds, "Meanwhile, people have actual S on stream and sit on glass chairs with cams under their butts." Fansly quote tweets Leia Kitties and says, "Show all the VTuber hips you want on Fansly." ADC responds, "Thank you, Fansly. Very cool." Mantine responds, "I mean, you're mostly just corn, but extra steps." Nyaru responds, "No." And the antagonist says, "Well, they tried." POP quote tweets Leia Kitties and says, "Announcement. To avoid being banned by Twitch, I have decided to no longer have exposed hips or chest. In fact, having a body at all is too risky. Praise the puddle." Ranboo quote tweets Leia Kitties and says, "Gotta keep it waist up this Halloween." And Randbalt responds, "Gotta cover up because it'll distract the other streamers from their work." Bayo the Whale quote tweets Leia Kitties and says, "How the fuck is covering myself in diddy amounts of baby oil and going down a slip and slide in a bikini less of an offense than being a PNG? Come on, bro." And Yaklush responds, "Hips? Who is making these rules, man?" Squooch-chan says, "Think about the children." Alara tweets out the new rules and says, "The VTuber Twitch bans are about to get so much worse." Kaisun responds, "Applies to other streamers. When is that going to start getting enforced for non-VTubers then? It certainly isn't getting enforced now." Rev says Desu tweets out, "Twitch is being more transparent. This is not the W you think it is. Just know that Twitch's updated terms ban content like the VTuber on the left while actively promoting content on the right. Keep putting pressure on them. Force them to be consistent." And attaches these two images, the first one showing this and saying, "This image frightens Twitch staff. Like, comment, and retweet to strike intense and visceral fear into the hearts of Twitch moderators." And then this image on the right, which we have seen before. Ace Haro responds, I have a feeling they will offer some sort of retraction for this, just as they have for the past 3 to 4 times they've pushed retarded rules. Trigger Point tweets out, Twitch, cover up those hips VTuber whore, also Twitch, and attaches a pull stream image. EB responds, we need a VTuber platform so badly. Just Evan at Zero tweets out, VTubers wanted to be treated similarly to FleshTubers. Twitch updated their policies to reflect that. Now VTubers don't want that. Help me understand. I will admit though, a lot of the policies are targeted, but they do bring them in line with what has always been expected of facecam streamers. Anyway, I'm not a VTuber. I understand the concerns though. You can't just change a model design after you poured thousands of dollars into it. This does suck. Rima Evanstar responds, I think the issue is that they're letting flesh streamers get away with so much more than VTubers do. And Evan says, maybe we should talk about this. I don't want to record a video, it's too early. And Rima says, down. Elara responds, the double standard on enforcement is what upsets everyone. Azihara tweets out, Marine's new Twitch approved swimsuit model just dropped. Child safety standards have been met. And Spooky responds, hold up buddy, is that an exposed hip? Flipsy says, cover up those slutty eyes you filthy whore. Johan tweets out, one of these will get you banned on Twitch and the other is acceptable streaming material. Can you guess which one? Nero replies, the hot one will get you banned. And Summer responds, is that the half-naked aging whore or the adolescent preteen anime girl in a crop top? Joyotomi says, the wife material will get you banned. And John X responds, I'm guessing you're talking about the one that looks like a kid. Biggs responds, I would permaban her for those disgusting tattoos. At least with VTubers, they make themselves pleasant to look at. Camila tweets out, so hey, at Twitch, at DJ Clancy 999, I hope you know that content like this is 80% of the VR chat category, yet VTubers, PNGs, are facing all the suspensions. Either ban both sides or don't ban it at all. This is fucking dog shit. And attaches a video of a VR chat model wearing very little clothing. The most VTubers do is flash those areas for shock factor. And on the other hand, VR chat is borderline corn category, but they're not ready for that conversation. Experiment. Me wearing this exact outfit but as a VTuber and count down the seconds until my ban. Trigger Point responds, seconds? More like milliseconds. And Camila says, real. Rima Evanstar tweets out, VTubers need to cover their hip and buttocks. Not allowed to take shots for donos anymore and must refrain from doing jokes / S-framing if they have lollies / showed as model. Meanwhile on Twitch, I'm sorry, but an anime buttock will always be more gracious and dignified than a real one. Leia Kitties responds, I won't lie, I think the shots for donos rule being in place is good for health, and I understand why it's in place. Lydia responds, I would sure love to know why I've been flagged like 4 times. I don't show my hips, not a lolly, not doing anything raunchy, don't even use the bikini model for like 6 months, like what the heck? Coefficient quote tweets one of Twitch's posts and says, wait, are FGC Yu-Gi-Oh players and Smash players protected groups? I might be cooked, guys. Attaching an image that shows that another thing that will be restricted is negative statements related to hygiene. Example, protected group are all smelly. And Coefficient says, oh, and also VTubers. Bicklin responds, they sure as shit ain't protected by hygiene. And Coefficient says, all I'm saying is, who's gonna protect my poor nose, bro? And that's what the internet said so far. See you next episode.